Kickstand cases for your Galaxy Note 8. The competition begins now.
Welcome back to the Tech Fighter channel, and today we have a video for those of you who have a Galaxy Note 8. Man, this beast of a phone. Lucky you, you guys have an awesome phone. Let's say you guys are looking for a case that has a kickstand. Well, this is a video that you're going to be interested in because we're going to have a competition between these three cases. That's right, this is a competition video, which means there is going to be a giveaway. So make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on the video so you'll qualify, and we'll be announcing the winner in a couple of weeks. So let's go ahead and get started. These are the boxes of the cases we're going to be looking at. Of course, the Samsung case itself, the rugged protective cover. We're also going to be looking at the Spigen Galaxy Note 8 Tough Armor, and then this Zizo brand, kind of a no-name brand as far as, you know, what I've used in the past, but it looked interesting, so I figured I'd go ahead and add this one to the mix. So let's go ahead and start with that one, the Zizo cover. Now this one comes with a holster, so for those of you who are still into holsters, you know, that's pretty cool. But we'll set that aside because we're not going to concentrate on that part. We'll go ahead and put the phone in there. We're going to be looking at the same stuff on all these cases. Buttons, the cutouts, the display coverage and protection, the feel in the hand, and of course, the kickstand. So the buttons on this, let me tell you, I use all of these cases for at least a week before I come out here and give you my opinions. So rest assured that when I tell you about this, it's because I've actually used them and know what I'm talking about. This, I happen to have a skin on here, but even without the skin, I did notice some things with these cases. For example, with this one, the buttons were not very responsive. They were actually very hard and kind of mushy. I didn't like the buttons at all. Good thing is that I would start up my phone or turn on my phone by pressing the bottom down here. I have my phone off right now, but you know what I'm talking about. You can actually press the capacitive button on the bottom, hard press it, and it'll turn on the screen. So that's how I was turning on my phone. I was really not using the power button that much because it really was that bad. I did not like the button at all. It does look cool. I mean, there's a nice design on here. It even has some details on there, plus or minus sign. But even the volume buttons were not that responsive, so the buttons were not a go on this case. The cutouts were, you know, I really like the cutouts on this case because there's a big cutout here for the S Pen, so there was no issue getting it out. It was very easy to take the S Pen out. Everything else looks good on the bottom. The cutout on the back, now it has a cool little design here. That's neat and all, but there is no real indentation or anything to separate the fingerprint sensor from the camera, so you're kind of looking around for it if you're not looking at the phone itself. If you're just holding it and you've got your finger back there, you got to make sure you have it in the right spot. So the cutouts were not that great. Now the design, as far as the protection on the screen, was really good. You know, you got a nice thick side rail here, nice and high, to where the screen is fully protected here on the edge. None of this exposed curve or anything like that, like we've seen on some of the other cases. So that's a really good protection here on the side, and the bottom and the top, they have this nice raised edge. Plenty of raised lip there, so you can set the phone down without any issue. As far as the back, has a cool design, kind of like a, you know, industrial look, and it feels good in the hand. It feels really solid. These lines here, they're kind of raised. You can probably see that, and so you can feel it in your hand while you're gripping it, and it keeps it from sliding off your palm. So I really liked the grip on this case. As far as the kickstand, pops right out. It feels pretty good, but you see, you heard that click, satisfying click there to know that it's already in place. So that was a nice option to have. So if you're looking for something that has a kickstand, this is a good option, but it is a little bit flimsy. Yeah, you can pop it out fairly easily in comparison to some of the other ones. It feels a little bit weaker. But this one also came with a free glass screen protector and of course the holster, and I believe it was the cheapest one of the group. I'll be posting links in the description so you can check them out, but for the price it wasn't a bad case. But it was also kind of hard to take out of the case. I'm going to go ahead and do this behind the camera because it was kind of hard to pull the phone out. So anyway, we'll move on to the next case. The next case is by Spigen. A lot of people love their cases because, you know, they've been in the game for a long time. And you can tell. You can tell with the build quality feels really solid in the hand. But let's go ahead and look at the buttons. Again, buttons are not great on this one. Why? Because look at that. They're not raised up at all from the side of the case. So there's a couple of lines that might help you guide your finger to there. But you really have to kind of look, oh, there's a power button. Another one, I didn't really like the power button on that. The same thing with the plus and minus volume. The only one that has the texture is the Bixby button, which I never really used. I would have preferred if that was on the power button. As far as the cutouts on the bottom, cutouts are good, but we have separate cutouts here for the speaker and the S Pen, so it makes that cutout a little bit smaller than the previous one. Kind of like the idea of keeping one big cutout right here. And as far as the back, just one big rectangle. Again, no indentation to help guide your finger to the fingerprint sensor. So you kind of have to look at it to make sure you have the finger in the right spot. As far as the coverage for protection on the side of the screen, the curved edge, it's not as protective as was the previous case. I'd say we have about 80% coverage there. The top and the bottom do have a raised edge, so you can set the phone down. The back is kind of a smooth finish, so it doesn't have that grippiness that the other one did, but it actually has a nice solid feeling because of the material being harder material. As far as the kickstand, this one pops up in this direction, and this also kind of flimsy. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell there. I can push it even further than it's supposed to go, and it kind of bends, okay? But it never really popped off when I was using it, so seems to work okay. Okay, so there you go. You set the phone down with the kickstand in place and it's working, so you can watch a YouTube video or whatever. It's a good case. I liked it. The feel in the hand was nice and solid. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. The next one is the one made by Samsung themselves. So, you know, they kind of have a little bit of an advantage there. But their buttons are noticeably better than the buttons on the previous cases. They are a little bit more responsive and clicky. And they're easy to get to because you can feel them without even looking at them. Just slide your finger on there and boom, you hit it. So you know you're there. So the buttons are good on this case in comparison to the other two. The cutout is nice. See, we have a nice wide open cutout because it includes the speaker. So it's easy to pull out the S Pen. The protection for the screen. This is where it kind of falters a little bit. I mean, it has adequate protection, but you see there's a little bit of that curve that's exposed. But I guess if you want to get some use out of that curved edge, you know, you have to have a little bit of exposed edge. So it works, but it is a little less protective. That, and also on the top and bottom edges, those lips are a little bit, the edge, the raised edge is not as high as the others. So I'd be a little bit cautious about setting it down face first. Now the back, the cutout for the fingerprint sensor, again, it's just one big rectangle, nothing to help guide your finger onto the fingerprint sensor. But you know, that's the same as the other two. The back has this nice pattern. It feels pretty good, and those sections right here that have the raised edges, it feels good when you're holding it. Kind of helps with the grip. Now, I like the design because hidden in this design is the kickstand. You can't even tell it's there until you pop that out. This feels really solid. I never had any problem with it coming off. And there you go. Set it down, watch your videos. I really like this case. So, out of the three, if I could only have one, which one would I pick? Well, that's usually how we pick a winner on this channel when we're competing cases. So I can tell you right now, even though this looked pretty cool and offered good protection, I really couldn't live with that power button. It was too mushy and it was a pain using it on a day-to-day basis. So that one is out. I really like Spigen cases and I really like the original manufacturer cases. So it comes down to these two. I liked the cutout better on the Samsung case than on the Spigen case. I also happen to like the kickstand better. I feel like it's a little bit bigger and offers more stability. And the buttons, of course, I still disliked this power button. It's not raised at all. So I think you know where I'm going with this. This one is out. So we have a winner here for the best case with a kickstand for your Galaxy Note 8. There it is. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment on the video so you qualify for that giveaway. You can also check me out on Instagram and Twitter, tech_fighter, and check out the links to the description. In the description for where you can buy these cases, usually on Amazon. You can actually also buy the ones that I'm reviewing, that I'm setting aside on my eBay store, and there will be a link for that in the description. Thanks a lot, guys. Hasta la vista.